Hi everyone, Angela here. On some thread spools, you'll find at the bottom this little gap or retention slit that you can easily wind the ends of your threads into to securely hold them in place. With some, you can even twist the bottom off and store your needles and pins inside. This type of spool has much narrower gaps at the top and bottom. You just have to hold on to your thread and gently guide it in. On this type of spool, you'll find a small cutout notch on the cap that you can easily hook the end of your thread into. I have some spools where you can pull open the bottom, wrap the thread underneath, then push it closed to snap in place. If you have spools like these that don't have anything to secure the ends, you can carefully use a utility knife or a pair of scissors to cut a small notch on the edge. What might be easier and a little safer is using a pair of nail clippers. Cut a small notch on an angle, following the same direction that the thread is wound so that the end will hook in easily. Spools that have a narrower tube, you can cut an extra notch opposite the first one to make it easier to hook the thread across. Now, if you really don't want to cut any notches, I'm just going to show you a few ways you can tie the ends off. For plain cones and spools, wrap the thread around 2 fingers, then pull the end down through the loop, creating a simple half knot. Once you use it again, it'll work itself out from under the knot. I don't recommend doing a half knot on spools with top and bottom flanges, as the end will stay underneath one layer of thread and this can affect the tension. This next method is very similar. Again, wrap the thread around 2 fingers, but this time instead of pulling the end right through, hold on to the end, pull down a loop, and tighten in the center. The loop stays under a layer of thread, and when you pull on the end, it easily comes undone. To make it slightly more secure, you can wrap the thread around your fingers twice. Then place the end between your fingers and hold on to it towards you. Using your fingertips, carefully pull the loop down underneath the 2 threads and tighten by pulling on the loop. Pull to shorten the loop and then trim off the end. This is a little more secure because the loop sits under 2 threads. For a really secure knot, first pull out some thread about a foot or more, then bring the end back forming a loop and hold on to it with a couple of inches out at the top. Put 2 fingers from underneath through the loop and twist 2 or 3 times. Then place your thumb in the loop to spread open and place the loop over the spool and the end of the thread. To tighten, pull on the end in the same direction that the thread is wound on the spool. Then trim, leaving about an inch at the end. You can make it tighter by pulling in the same direction, and when you're ready to use the thread again, pull in the opposite direction to loosen up and you'll see the 2 threads from the loop. Pull on one of those threads and the knot will unravel. Here's another way you can do the same knot around a cone. Instead of looping it over the cone, just wind the end of the thread around and pull it through the loop. This next method to secure thread ends is my personal favorite. Make sure to let me know which one yours is. First, pull out some thread, loosely wrap it around 2 fingers and hold on to the end. Twist a couple of times to form a loop. Wind the end around the spool, place it between your fingers, come back and hold it. Carefully use your fingertips to pull down through that first loop, forming another loop. Keeping your fingers in the loop, pull everything tight in the center of the spool. Shorten the loop a bit and trim away the end, and you now have a secure overhand knot that's ready for storage and really easy to unravel for the next use. To secure your bobbin thread, carefully slide a pin between the side of the bobbin and the wound thread. Tuck the thread end under the pin and pull it down firmly. The thread is held tightly in place so it won't unravel, and it pulls out easily when you need to use it again. If your fingernails are long enough, you can just pull aside the thread and tuck in the end. I hope some of these tips helps with your thread organization. Please share with your sewing friends and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching. Take care and happy sewing.